That was like a little sing song there. Okay. Happy Monday. What's going on? Awesome premium course architects and my high performers, my high achievers, my party peeps. What is going on this beautiful morning, evening, afternoon, depending on where it is you are in the world? Let me know inside of the chat, by the way, where you are currently watching from. If you don't know what we do here, my name is Dr. Sonia. I talk all things premium courses, whether they be online, face to face, how to take your knowledge, wisdom, life experiences, package them into the format of courses, luxury coaching, mentorship, brands, and programs so you can get your message out to the world because you're not supposed to stay what? You are not supposed to stay local. You're supposed to be global. So today I really want to talk about how to, tis the season, right? So these are power moves for peak performance. And I want to talk about this from the standpoint of being a high performer myself, high achiever myself, right? And also Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1. This always comes up around this time of year, especially as well, right? Is that there's a season. It basically says there's a season for everything, a time for everything. And so I want you to remember that, especially as we are in the holiday season, if you are celebrating this season, or if you're just chilling out, and maybe this isn't necessarily the best time for you. So I want to extend some hugs, some prayers, all of those things for those of you all who may be having a tough time in this season. If you are celebrating this season, you're around loved ones. I mean, this is a time that you need to protect your time and energy most. Okay, you want to be able to show up for the people that you want to interact with, the people that you love the most, the people, friends, family members that you're going to be around. And so with that being said, you have to make time for your goals and your growth. And so this morning I was up at 4 a.m. I'm literally trying to get back on my 3:30 a.m.s, but it's so difficult. And I'll talk about that in a second as to why and how you can protect your time. So I'm on a journey to getting back to my 3:30 a.m.s. Great morning, y'all. But I was up at 4 a.m. today. I hit the gym by 5:10 a.m. And I know that there are a lot of influencers and gurus who, talk about getting up in the morning. And there are also people who are like, you don't need to do that if you don't want to. And it's like, I'm a firm believer in the morning space and protecting the morning space. And so I'll give you my quick 3 tips in a second. But I was up this morning, hit the gym by 5:10 a.m. My goal is to get there at 5 a.m. Yeah, no, we're running a few minutes behind. So because I've learned that protecting certain parts of my day is not selfish, it's super strategic. I am very intentional about how I move in the mornings, right? And so I want you to remember that it's about being your best. And even if it feels like you have to protect that time, whatever time it may be, for me is morning. I'll give you my 3 tips in a second, or my advice on how I structure my day. It's super simple. But protecting that time so that you can be your best in your business, around your family members, your friends, all of those things, super important. So how do you protect both ends of your day, if you will? I kind of look at it, my day, like bookends or like a short story. There's like the top of the day, the morning time, there's the middle of the day, and then there's the end of the day. And like that stuff that's sandwiched in between is where I get to show up for other people. But that initial part of my day is for me. So it's winning the morning, right? I like to start with an early morning workout. I like my meditation time, my prayer time, journaling, and setting intentions for how I want the day to go. All right. That's my me time. That's my, if you want to call it, my selfish time, right? I need that. I have to be able to ground myself before I move into the middle part of my day. The middle part of my day I call my prime hours. So this is why it's kind of like a short story, right? You got your beginning, middle, end. You know how we were taught growing up, elementary school. How do you formulate a story, right? You got your beginning, your middle, and your end. So my prime hours are the middle part. And this is where I make sure that I am intentional about doing the most important work first. That's when I have the most energy. I just came off my workout, right? I got all of the things flowing. Everything is firing. All right. My brain is active, it's ready. I got my coffee as well. So I'm doing all the things. Thank you. I appreciate you, Ivy. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hello. Hello. And so my prime hours are important. So if you do the first things, most important things first, like first things first, right? Stephen Covey talks about this in 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, right? And I posted some content earlier today about my morning routine as well. So check that out when you get a second. But it's, doing the most important work first because I have the highest energy and I can make sure that the things I need to get done get done. I can keep all my commitments, whether it's, things in my business to my clients, my students, my mentees, things to family members and friends, right? Keeping my commitments to myself is important, but also making sure that I keep commitments to other people. That's important to me as well. And then the third thing that I do, again, the bookend, the other side of the bookend, is to honor my wind down time. So if I say I'm going to prepare for bed at a certain time, whether it's 7:30, 8 p.m., I know that sounds early, but I also wake up early because I need my me time in the morning. But I also need some me time to decompress in the evening. And so I like to make sure that I'm honoring my commitment to my wind down. Right. When I don't do that, that's a problem because then I can't really set myself up for the win in the morning. So I'm like, the bookends are so important. And then everything that you do in between is just first things first and honoring your initial commitments, like the most important work, not the busy work. It's not even necessarily always the most urgent work. All right. I'm going to leave that there for a second and let it marinate. It's not even always the most urgent work, it's the most important. Sometimes, as high performers, especially, we will make up in our minds what we think is urgent, or we will allow other people's expectations or needs to dictate to us what is urgent, right? And it's not necessarily. You don't have to take on other people's urgency. All right. So do things that are most important first during those prime hours. So the bookends are in the morning, okay, whatever you need to do, early morning workout, meditation, setting your intentions for the day. The middle part is protecting your prime hours, and then the other bookend that sandwiches everything in between and like wraps things up is honoring the wind down time. Close the laptop, okay, shut the work down. Whatever time you give yourself to do that, honor that. Honor that. You need that space in order to set yourself up for a very productive day the next morning. So let me know inside of the chat, how are you showing up today, this week, and for the rest of this year, because we only have a few days left. Okay. We are literally going into 2026. And I've been telling everybody I'm already there. I'm in like February of 2026. All right. And my brain just does that sometimes. So it is also very important to be present. All right. So figure out, how are you showing up, and let me know in the chat, how are you showing up today, this week, and for the rest of the year. And if you're watching the replay, let me know also. Just type replay inside of the chat and let me know where you're watching from. I always love to see the global reach of these episodes. If you want to learn more about the psychology of, best practices for high performers, or you're looking to create your own premium courses, luxury coaching, mentorship brands, and teach what it is that you know on a global platform, check out jumpfirstacademy.org to get started. There are a bunch of resources over there to help you move forward. I love y'all so much. I appreciate the positivity in the chat. This is a positive place. All right. So if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. What are you waiting for? Subscribe, hit the like button, and that bell notification so you know when new episodes like this drop and we can hang out live. I love y'all so much. Again, happy holiday season. If this is a rough time for you, I'm sending you many prayers and hugs and love and all those awesome things. I'll see y'all back here tomorrow. Have an amazing day. Bye, y'all.